I was actually told to abduct you. Then I said, but how can I abduct you? That's what I was telling you. But it's not abducting you. Now, it is a
Can I have members, Madam, speak?
Prayer.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trust in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you've committed to their charge. Amen.
So let's start.
Item 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I want to welcome you to this afternoon sitting. You're most welcome back. And I want to appreciate you for the commitment you put towards your work for the good of our country. While it's a while now since I last chaired this house, I want to thank my young brother, Right Honorable Taeva, for steering the house while I was away. I sincerely thank him and being a dependable colleague. That's how we should work with each other. I went away on a short notice, but I've got the house the way it was. We thank God for that. In a special way, I also want to thank you people. Thank you, honorable members, for being there in the house whenever we need you and all the time when we need you. Originally, we had adjourned to 15th, but we had to call the house for today because we have very important bills. I want to thank you, the members, for being committed to your work. You're most welcome. As leaders of the 11th Parliament, we strive so much for cohesion and teamwork, irrespective of the parties. We try our best to want to work together with each other for the good of this country. And in doing that, we should be tolerant. We should be able to listen to each other. And we try to create a conducive environment for our own members, for our colleagues. So we will ensure that we protect every member's right in this house. We will ensure that we bring cohesion in this house so that we work for the good of our people out there who are whom we represent. And remember, we are the voice of those voiceless. Honorable members, I'm also aware of the outstanding demands of opposition, which will be presented to this house on 19th. I've got a report from government. Maybe the leader of, maybe the chief whip will present that, will respond to that. I've got a response from government that they will be presenting the position to what they were asked to do by 19th. So we should be able to get a report on issues of human rights and the civic space by 19th of this month. That will be next week. But because 19th is a weekend, we shall receive it on Tuesday, which will be 21st. But I want to advise my colleagues, you don't fight when you're out. You fight when you're inside here. You don't. Just like when you're in a home. If you're in a home and you're fighting with a woman, you and a husband and a wife, don't run away, be there. Defeat, stay there so that we see who is who. So it is not good for us to go out and start lamenting from out. Let's be here, solve our people's problems here in this house. Getting out of this house is not a solution. And on that note, therefore, as the leader of this house, I'm going to invoke the roll on the 15 sittings. I am going to invoke the rule on the 15 sittings, and I want you members to come to the house. Don't miss for the 15 sittings. Don't be deceived that you should walk out. I will count 15 sittings. Honorable members, we all appreciate what is going on. We are all Ugandans, and Uganda is for everybody. So if you're not going to do work for the Ugandans when you're in the house, then we'll apply the rule for 15 sittings, and then we'll see what to do. Honorable members, and remember that is rule 1126 of the rules of procedure. Honorable members, as you know, I went for a short leave. I want to bring you greetings from I bring you greetings from Salongo, Nalongo, and the Balongo. They love you all. You're all their uncles and their aunties. And holding a position like mine does not stop one from being a mother. I hope I inspire most of you.
What?
And being a politician, I am not a civil servant for anybody to ask, why has she come back from leave? I'm not on maternity leave. A politician does not have maternity leave. The law prescribes for a civil servant. Politician is not a civil servant. So if I'm in good health, I come and serve my country. The problem we have with the social media, with our friends who love social media, they know everything. They know they are doctors, they are nurses, they are gynecologists, they are pediatricians. They even want to be salongos when they cannot be salongos. They want to know when Nalongo is pregnant. They know everything, but they don't know anything. So don't give us a shrinking social space. For us, we are here to serve the nation. We have lives to live, and we must live our lives to the fullest. Honorable members, as we start the house today, I went to Nsambia Hospital to check on one of our colleagues, Honorable Segrenya, and I encourage all of you, as a colleague, a brother, a friend, to check on him. But I want to tell you, I was very impressed with the services in that hospital. It's a private hospital, but I was very impressed. I also, on the same note, I want to thank Kampala's hospital. I had a lot of rumors that those politicians spend a lot of our money on going to give birth out. I gave birth from Kampala Hospital here. And they're still asking why a private hospital. It's a choice. Private institutions are here to complement government institutions. Let's not look at smaller things. Let's be happy with our country, love our country. We need private sector to complement government. Yesterday I was in Mulago to visit Honorable Eloto. Honorable Eloto got involved in an accident and is in Mulago. Actually, the time I went to hospital, he was in ICU. I didn't know that Mulago had the best ICU. Mulago has the best equipment in the country. The problem we have with Mulago is the human resource. And as we go into budgeting process, I want us to support the National Referral Hospital by providing them with money for human resource. We also need to support the private sector, which complements the government sector. Honorable members, as you are aware that the term of office for standing committees is coming to an end, I want to request all of you to put your applications to your respective whips so that in the next sitting, when the year is beginning after the break off, we should be able to consider the committees and then the commissioners. Those who want to take up those posts should put in applications and we consider it. And finally, on a special note, I want to thank Mama Janet Museveni and His Excellency, the President, for the support they gave me when I was doing my motherly duty. I thank all of you for the messages you sent to me, for the love you showed me. I thank in a special note again Japam, Right Honorable John Patrick Amama Mbawasi, and still on a special note, the Katikiro of Buganda. All those people have been there, they've been there for Balongo. For you, you are the owners of the Balongo. The other ones are outsiders. So we must really thank them for that. I wish you a nice deliberation for today. I want to thank you. Next item.
The Right Honorable Nalongo Anita Among, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. I want to appreciate your statement and to welcome you back in Parliament and to say congratulations on behalf of the people of Busia Municipality and Busia District for having brought us the twins. Madam Speaker, in your submission, you have talked a lot about cohesion, and really I want to thank the Deputy Right Honorable Speaker in your absentia. It was business as usual. That gives us a picture, we who were in the tennis parliament, of demonstrating a lot of unity. I want to agree with you that Parliament is the August House, where all issues, complaints, and battles are solved. Our brothers and sisters in opposition, it does not benefit them to go and complain on the streets about the human rights and the civic rights of Ugandans when they are out of the house. At the same time, wherever they are complaining on the streets and outside Parliament, they are full in the restaurant, full in the corridors of Parliament, and full in committee meetings, which brings a question mark whether they are the voice of the people who voted them. I therefore call them upon to come back and also call upon government that we should stop dollar dealing. Why do we take that long to give a statement on issues that have taken long when opposition are asking for them? The more we delay, the more we give gap to the opposition to show that the NRM regime is not performing. Moreover, we have been there for some time. Therefore, Madam Speaker, you are spot on. And I want to pray that on that day you have given government, they should come with a rightful statement, not to come with a workshop statements, so that opposition can come back to the House and begin checking us who are in government. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, members. One, the Balongo are not a matter of discussion. As I said, they love you and they wish you well. They are not a matter of a discussion for now. Two, the issue of opposition, I said it, and it is that. Opposition is not one party. I have seen my elder, Matt Cecilia is here, she's opposition. I've seen the president of UPC's opposition. I have seen there's opposition in the House. There's opposition in the House, and all we need is, as I said, cohesion. And members, free sitting. And relax, have an honorable Namiliango, there's doing a free seat here. Please have a seat. Honorable members, I want us to we will get a statement from government on 19th on that. And as the Honorable Macho says, let's come with a comprehensive statement. It doesn't cost us much. And our colleagues will come, those who are not in the House, will come when they feel they should. Yes, my chairperson. My chairperson, Honorable was my chairperson of the Prime Minister wants to say a word before my chair.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I want to join on behalf of government, the whole country, in congratulating you, Mama, for being a Narongo. You look lovely. And so on behalf of government, I want to say that we are happy working with you. I also want to congratulate my muzukuru, the honorable member of parliament, who made it possible. That one. The Honorable Speaker, I want to also thank members, especially all those who gave you congratulatory messages. It's
Actually, including yourself, my
Yes,
sister.
including myself. I believe including the president. Everybody is happy that you made it and you have added to the population of this country. Thank you so much. May God
you.
bless you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, my sister, Prime Minister. Me, what I can tell you, I'm living a full life. The only thing I was left with were Walongo. I have it all. I am living a full life. I have no problems. Yes, my chair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I join the rest in welcoming you back, our mom. I have one comment on the health status of our district referral hospitals related to what you mentioned of our national referral hospital. Right Honorable Speaker, the situation is so bad. The district referral hospital of Ajuman district is collapsing. I have taken letters to the ministry. It is leaking. And it is serving both the refugees and the nationals. Therefore, I will pray that we should support our committee on health to ensure that this year we prioritize our health units because many of them are in dire need. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Prime Minister. The issue of the hospitals, before you came in, I talked about Mulago. You saw me. And Mulago is doing a very good job. The only problem is the human resource. Now, the district hospitals must be looked upon. Dr. Yume, in the BFP, you should look at all these hospitals and see how we can improve on the health services. Yes, Whopper.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to add my voice to colleagues to welcome you back, but also on behalf of the Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association, allow me to congratulate you for this double joy of our little twins. And I wish you and the babies good health. But Right Honorable Speaker, this country is blessed with very good doctors. One of the best doctors in the region. However, Right Honorable Speaker, the doctors lack that enabling environment to enable them perform the tasks that they want to perform or they need to perform. If you went, for example, to the neurosurgery department in Mulago, you will find that there are very few. I don't think there are even more than 10 currently qualified neurosurgeons who are at Mulago Hospital. But the space is not there, Right Honorable Speaker. When you move to the regional referral hospitals, we've moved to Mbale. I know we're doing some work. You may ask what I did when we were in the Ministry of Health. But with support from government, we've tried to expand, build some new structures, but still there isn't enough resources. The construction is so slow. If you reach Mbale Regional Referral Hospital, Right Honorable Speaker, finding 4 or 5 babies on a single bed, it is terrible, with mothers standing beside these babies. They just needed 8 billion shillings to enable them complete the new structure. However, the money, is phased over different financial years. When you move to Soroti Regional Referral Hospital, it's one of those hospitals that has not received funding for expansion. And yet we have very good doctors. You remember the separation of the twins that was done by these doctors. And we think the doctors cannot do their work. It is the environment. So I want to appeal to colleagues. We are in the budgeting process. Let us prioritize healthcare in this country. Because majority of our people cannot fly out of this country.
Thank you.
You and I may go, but they can't. So let us have the facilities
For me,
so that they can be able to
I
get
can't
services.
go. I can't go. I live within Uganda, and
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for that. And I hope the others also follow suit. If you want to give birth, please give birth within. Giving birth is not a medical condition to take you out of the country. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
thank you, honorable members. The issue of health care, we must really take it seriously. Let's not really concentrate on maybe only one hospital. Let's look at all the hospitals throughout. And like we passed a law of recent on organ transplant. I went to see the facilities available, everything is available. But what they don't have is the human resource still. And they don't have the building where they can keep the donor and the donee for them to be able to recover. The construction is underway, but taking too much time. And I don't know, Chairman, you need to make a follow-up on this. Do you have anything to say, Chairman? Health.
Yes, Right Honorable. On 6th floor in the corner, we have 2 theaters that were built purposely for organ transplant.
Yeah, you went to
and 3 ICUs specially for that purpose. But the problem with Mulago Hospital, Right Honorable, is water. As I've mentioned earlier, the water comes in the night, and by 10 in the morning, there's no water. There are issues to do with the sewage. The air conditioning is not working. And of the 6 lifts, only 5 and only 1 is working. So the hospital, we need 25 billion shillings to be able to put it to the national referral hospital status. And I hope we can get that during the budgeting cycle. Thank you.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, can you give us a response to that?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I believe everybody is aware that I was a minister in charge of health general duties, and the hospitals follow under that docket. Right Honorable Speaker, being a prime minister and having been a minister of health, I want to pledge.
First wait for the pledge. He's clapping before you mention the pledge. You pledge.
Honorable Speaker, I want to pledge that it is government's responsibility and a policy to make sure that our people get the deserving treatment in our hospitals. That's why we have at Health Center 3, at Sub-County, we have a Health Center 3. And we are doing very well in that regard. Every constituency, we are supposed to have a Health Center 4. And the number of health centers 3s are being upgraded to Health Center 4s. At district level, we are supposed to have a district hospital. And a number of districts have hospitals. At regional level, we are supposed to have a regional hospital. That is the policy. Right Honorable Speaker, at national level, we are supposed to have the National referral hospital. And there are 5. We have Kawempe, we have Chirudu, we have Mulago, we have Butabika, and Entebbe. Honorable Speaker, we make sure that these facilities, yes, these facilities get the required personnel. And recently, Right Honorable Speaker, remember these people were complaining all the time that they were not being paid. And the government has enhanced their salaries. That is a plus to government. We are moving in the right direction. And we are going to make sure that all these other things are catered for. That's my pledge.
Honorable Prime Minister, thank you so much. I just want to let the House know that when you look at ICU, all the beds have equipments, 29 beds, very modern equipments, but they have only 14 workers, meaning they can handle only 14. And then when you look at dialysis, they are supposed to handle 75 patients, but they have only 10 health workers, meaning they cannot handle the rest. So let's see how we can budget for money to increase on the labor. Basically, it's only just increasing on the human resource. Huh? Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Prime Minister, the last time we were here, the Honorable Minister in charge of health gave us a status report on the status of COVID in this country. So we tasked her to tell us how many functional CT scans, high dependency units, ICUs, and MRIs are functional in this country. She stated that out of the 17 regional referrals, they had procured these services, but however, there was no access to 3-phase electricity power lines to make these services function. The question is, if it takes someone from Karamoja or from Teso, let's say from Soroti, to move to Kampala just to have a CT scan conducted as a result of the malfunction of the regional hospital CT scan in that area, then you can look at the cost that someone in the rural area bears just to access these services that deal with diagnostics. So what is your pledge as well in order to make those services, one, available, reliable, and accessible to all the people nationwide?
There is information from Kazo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I happen to have worked with the health sector for some time, starting with Mulago and later alone National Medical Stores. Honorable Speaker, the issue of health sector needs serious dissect. We may come here and talk about it on the surface, but there are specific areas, Honorable Speaker, we need to look at. Even the issue of human resource, Honorable Speaker, if we did an audit, you would find that there are people who have accessed the payroll of health sector without working for more than even 3 years. If we do an analysis and audit of that sector. Honorable Speaker, we need to consider the health insurance, National Health Insurance Act to be put in place so that, or operationalize it, so that it can help us address the critical areas of need in the health sector. But finally, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, aware of the rationalization attempt by government, we may need to think of hospital management authority. Honorable Speaker, what happens in the hospitals is that there is no one responsible. Even punishing a worker is not possible. There are no KPIs. we need to find a way of tasking the output to be clear for our health sector. Thank you very much, Veteran.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think, yes, we'll have Singiro. You're from, both from Singiro. Stephen first.
Thank you, Right Honorable. First and foremost, I also want to congratulate you.
Honorable members, I have been advised by Dr. Chris to be in the house for only 2 hours. So when you continue with the matters, we have very serious matters on the agenda. Doctor, isn't that what you advised me? Dr. Chris, yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I also add my voice to congratulate you. Yes. Yes, with what we call the postpartum period, when somebody has just given birth, and we give medical advice, and such a mother should avoid a stressful situation like sitting for so long. So it is true that we advise that you regulate the time you can be in a situation which prolongs stress and so forth. So the advice, what we have given, that you should not sit for many hours.
Thank you.
Period of around 2 hours.
Thank you, Doctor.
So I concur with her that we need to limit the debate and go into serious issues.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me to be brief. First and foremost, I don't know whether you got the honorable member very well. He talked about the issue of water and air condition in the hospital at Mulago. And the issue concerning water in the hospital, it is something pertinent and very, very important that we cannot even give space. I was of the view, and I wanted to know, and he wanted to know from government whether we can be in position to avail funds so that the issue of water and other challenges can be easily fixed without even giving space. That is the information he wanted to know from us, and we can be able now to answer.
Thank you. Mulago is coming up with a supplementary, so don't worry. They are coming to ask for money. Yes, Honorable Isingiro.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for this opportunity, but also allow me to congratulate you. Congratulations. Right on to the issue at hand. Right Honorable Speaker, I have had a go at the Cancer Institute myself. The Cancer Institute is one area that is extremely overcrowded. Yet it is also supposed to be a center of excellence for the entire East African region. At one time, patients were being treated. You can imagine being given a chemo in the corridors, even outside. It was such a sad sight. It is even going to be very difficult, like my colleague said, that's not necessary, or it should not be necessary for us to go out of the country. It will take time, because as we talk today, you can only be very sure, especially when you have a cancer problem, that it is there, it is at this stage, very completely sure when you take what they call a PET scan. There is only one PET scan working and operational in the whole of entire East African region, and that is in Aga Khan. What exactly happened to ours? We were promised some time back, we don't have any. So somehow patients will still go out. I don't know whether they have fixed hours or it's not yet fixed. Can you please give us a hint on that? Secondly, and lastly, you talk of upgrading health center 2s. As we talk today, rather health center 3s to 2s to 3 and 3 to 4. Up to today, Right Honorable Speaker, I've not seen a list detailing, showing people, giving people hope that look here, for you, Essential South, you are going to get your health center for during this and this period. And the criteria being followed. I'm a little bit perturbed by that. And I think it's a high time we came out clear and squarely to know that either they are not there or those who have already got are the only ones we should be relying on, but not continue telling people that health center force are there when actually there is none. I thank you.
Honorable members, the health sector has a strategic plan. And I think that's what is going to be followed. And it's good we've known all these things at the budgeting process. We are going to budget for all this. Haji, Carol, then.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Bunya County South, on behalf of the people of Obusoga, on behalf of the Parliamentary Caucus of Obusoga, allow us really congratulate you for giving us the twins. Right Honorable Speaker, these twins have come at a time when Obusoga is preparing to receive a queen. So I call this a double blessing. Thank you so much for adding the double blessing in the region. You are an asset to the region of Obusoga, not a liability. Right Honorable Speaker, on the issue of the health sector, we are talking about equipping Mulago National Referral Hospital, but at the same time, we must have a plan to decongest Mulago. We can only decongest Mulago National Hospital by investing much in primary health care. Let's look at our health centers, because most of the issues that take people to Mulago can easily be solved from our health centers. So, Right Honorable Speaker, allow me appeal to government that this is the real timing. Now that we are planning for the country, this is the real time. We should think about investing in the health sector, because if we have any enemy now in the country, His Excellency the President has pacified the country. Now the only enemy we have in the country, we are talking about diseases. What is killing our people are not rebels, at least. We cannot compare this time to the previous times, but at least if we can only invest in health sector, we can have the country we deserve. I want to thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. No.
Madam Speaker, you already picked.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the people of Nakasongola County and the district at large, allow me also to add my voice to congratulate you, but also to let you know that my mother was also a Narongo like you.
I am the mother. Don't
Right
worry.
Honorable Speaker, as we discuss about our health facilities in the country, many Ugandans currently they cannot access health facilities because of the poor road network. I want to cite an example, Right Honorable Speaker. There is a road which joins Nakasongola to Nakaseke, or which joins Kaweweta Barracks to the main road. The river called Lugogo, of course, you cannot now access. I went there on Sunday for oversight. But of course, two people who are trying to cross died. The water took them either to River Nile, either to Kafo, either to where their bodies are nowhere to be seen. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to appeal to the Ministry of Works that they need to send teams of engineers to a number of districts to make an assessment on our roads so that they come up with a report, and that report be considered here so that we vote for emergency funding. Otherwise, many Ugandans cannot access health facilities as I talk because of poor road network in this country. I want to thank you.
Thank you. Musila Denima. Dr. Chudi, your chairman has talked. Yes, Honorable Musila. Then Matt.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You made history.
Honorable Musila, First of all, I want you to withdraw a statement that we get 2 million shillings per sitting. When I see you have remembered that it is not true that we get that money.
Right Honorable Speaker, as my boss, and because a younger sister has requested, I withdraw and apologize before this parliament for the insinuations I may have made unknowingly and in a language which is not very full, I mean, basic and indigenous to me. But secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, like I said.
And before you go for Rasta, there are members who go around saying that we get CDF, Constituent Development Fund. We don't get CDF. We've never got CDF. It is not him who said it, it is other members who say that. If you don't know the difference between your emoluments and CDF, just say it and we shall help you clarify. Yes, Rasta.
I want to thank you again. And on behalf of the Rasta community of this country, you become the historical Cleopatra, Nefertiti, to Uganda, to Africa, and the whole world. We want to thank you, Lady Rasta. You join us for that. The matter I want to speak about.
I am an Alongo. I am not a Rasta. I'm an Alongo.
Respect, Right Honorable Speaker. Now, the matter I want to speak about is health, like my colleague of Isingiro talked about, the health center force. I come from a district of about 300,000 residents. Not even one health center for. We grapple with getting these people either to Mbale, which is 60 kilometers away. And we needed, Right Honorable Prime Minister, a definite, proper plan, so that we know, so that I tell my people in Amisidwa district, not only my constituents of Uburo East. Lastly, there is a sector we are not talking about, Right Honorable Speaker. I should speak for them in matters of health, and this is mental health. We have only one referral hospital. I can be a potential person anytime from here. Honorable Nsereko, I'm not yet until I'm declared by Honorable Chris. But I want to say, I think the mental people maybe fall under the docket of PWDs, and they have not spoken for them. We need regional mental hospitals, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It may sound funny, but what Honorable Musila is saying is very correct. We need those units throughout the country. Yes, Matt?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate that you recognize me, although...
Doctor wants to respond on mental health. I think he wants...
Before me?
Yes, before you.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I am also a former Minister of State for Health. And I just wanted to say also, we need a comprehensive debate on health and health care in the country, maybe one day, because a lot needs to be done to ensure that we address these issues which are being raised. And I know the Minister of Health will come and maybe give us detailed information, but there are efforts through Ministry of Health to decentralize most of these services, including mental health. But I just wanted to provide information on cancer briefly, that cancer is on the rise, and we need to invest more in public education. It is also true that the Cancer Institute in Mulago is congested, but the institute has established a home nearby where those who come from upcountry can have a rest as they get treatment in an effort to decongest the Cancer Institute. But also there are plans to build the cancer institutes in the regional referral hospitals. I know for a fact that the Cancer Institute in Uguru has been completed. They are now doing a dry run for it to start functioning. Construction is also going on in Mbale Hospital for a fully fledged Cancer Institute. And also in the plans, I think Minister of Finance has provided resources for a Cancer Institute in Mbarara and Arua regional referral hospitals. With the
Thank you, Dr. Chris. Honorable members, as Dr. Chris said, we need a debate on health care, a comprehensive one. For now, let's maybe move to something else, and then we will handle the health care. We need a whole day for that. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I can only welcome you to the club of the Balongos and the Salongos and the Nalongos, because I was there before several years ago when I gave birth to 2 bouncing boys, and they are still alive up to now. So seeing you following in my footsteps, I'm very, very proud that those special seeds have not yet disappeared from Uganda. So I encourage young women to make sure you get the right men and increase our membership. Right? Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm standing here not very aware whether the opposition is still in protest. But in case they are in protest, because of very important matters of national importance, I'm compelled to come here and address the issue in the House. I have no other platform. So I want to make that matter straight. And secondly, also, since I'm now here, I'm pleading with the government to make sure that the matter of the opposition is addressed as soon as possible. We don't want to see a divided country. It is high time we show political maturity by being together, although we disagree, but we should always be together. But Right Honorable Speaker, I requested you that I raise a matter of national importance pertaining to a very important international agreement which Uganda as a country and the whole of Africa who are members and other regions are supposed to sign, and the deadline is tomorrow. Right, Honorable, you assigned me responsibility to be in the delegation of ACP EU. And by virtue of that, I've been participating in the debates pertaining to this particular agreement. You are all aware that the ACP EU had the Lome Convention, which lasted for 20 years. And from 2018 to 2020, they have been discussing how they can review the agreement to come up with a new Tottenham agreement. Indeed, the agreement has been reviewed, but new clauses have been entered into this new Tottenham agreement, which we have raised on the floor of this House. But we are insisting that the government should come up and address this House so that we know what is the position of Uganda on the new Tottenham agreement. Right, Honorable Speaker, in 1 minute, I want to tell you that this agreement raised 4 critical areas that need to be addressed. One is that the 3 regions of Africa, Caribbean, and Pacific have to be separated in this new agreement, where else AU remains a solid bloc. But Africa must now stand alone, Pacific, and Caribbean. Now, we disagree with this because we are the ones who are going to benefit from the European Union fund. Now, if we are separated, you definitely weaken our bargaining power. So we feel this is a matter which we must fight and reject. And we cannot allow to sign an agreement which is going to make us weaker. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, one of the things that will hurt you and me and all Ugandans is that in that agreement, there is a supremacy clause. That supremacy clause says, when you sign this agreement, all other international treaties and protocols will be subject to this agreement. In other words, we are talking about free trade protocols and so on and so on. They must all be subject to all the conditions that have been stipulated in this new Tottenham agreement. So I think it is very, very important, Right Honorable Speaker, that we take a close look at the Tottenham agreement before our president appends his signature. Thirdly, Right Honorable Speaker, there is some new concept which has come up in that agreement, which says the Council of Ministers can now sit in Brussels, take decisions which will be binding on the respective member states. In other words, you now bypass cabinet, you now bypass parliament, whatever is discussed in Brussels, if it is going to affect the export of coffee or whatever it is, we'll have to accept because we have signed the new Tottenham agreement. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, there's so many clauses that we can all read. The document is available in the library, but one of the things that has come out loud and clear and emphasized in many areas is the issue of this famous issue of LGBTQ and I. The homosexuality, which you have been at the front line to fight, it is now a critical issue, which if you don't accept this LGBTQI and even Q now is there, then the EU or the EU will not accept you as a trading partner. Right Honorable Speaker, to make the whole thing nonsensical, we in Africa, and particularly we Christians, you commit an abortion, it is a crime. To commit an abortion, you cannot enter heaven because you have killed life. But for us, it's now a right that anybody can do abortion and should not be a sin or a crime. I don't know whether we can allow that. For me as a Christian and as an African, I don't think I would allow that. Right Honorable Speaker, it is important that you know the membership of this ACP-EU. The Africans are 48 members. The Caribbean are 16, and the Pacific are 15, which makes 79 members of ACP. And then the EU are only 27. So the 27 members are driving 79 members to sign protocol which is anti-interest of our member states. So Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to request that the government clarifies to Ugandans how this matter is going to be handled, because the deadline for signing is the 15th of this month. I beg to submit.
Can we hear from the Prime Minister? Attorney General, you have something to say? Please.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable, and congratulations upon the title of Nalongo. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So you are not a Salongo.
I'm a Salongo, incidentally. Right Honorable Speaker, the concerns presented by Atat, our elder, Honorable Cecilia, are valid, we have been looking at the post-Cotonou agreement together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have prepared a report which we plan to submit to Cabinet. But for purposes of allaying her concerns, we can present that report to Parliament maybe in 2 weeks' time, if you allow us.
But
on the issue of signing, we cannot assign or assent to any agreement before Cabinet has looked at it.
Honorable members, I don't want you to go away. We have a bill that we need quorum.
As a government, we do not assent to any agreement unless all the legal processes have been adhered to. So I do understand that tomorrow is the deadline, but once Cabinet approves, once we have the right green light, then we shall seek for an extension of time, then we can sign the agreement. I beg to submit.
Atat, I think you should have time with the Attorney General, with a team of ACPU led by the Deputy Speaker. Discuss those things extensively and come up with a position of Parliament. Yes, because you are the ones who have been attending those workshops, so you should be able to have a discussion with him and tell him what you people think, and that is led by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
Right Honorable Speaker, I agree with you, but right now the response given by the Deputy Attorney General does not convince me, because I want
We'll
assertive
go and
statement.
sort that out of the house. We'll go and have a
Okay,
meeting about that.
but I would have wanted to be assured that the deadline of the 15th, Uganda government or Uganda will not sign, but will seek for time.
And you have said, and the deadline is not cast on stone. Honorable members, in the public gallery this afternoon, we have student leaders from St. Kisito Technical Institute, Madura, that is Soroti District. They are represented by Honorable Ariko, Herbert Edmore, and Honorable Achom Joan. You're most welcome. Please stand up. Where are you? Those are the people from the east, where the wise people come from. Please have a seat. Join me in welcoming them. Also in the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of members of the Kabale District Speakers Association. They comprise the speakers and the deputy speakers of the district, municipalities, divisions, sub-counties, and town councils. They are represented by the parliament, in Parliament by Honorable Bahati David. You're most welcome. You have a very, very good member of Parliament. And then Honorable Catherine Ndamira. Honorable Catherine Ndamira. And then Honorable Kamara, and Honorable Nwagaba Wilfred. Those are the representatives. Yes. Next, yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, mine concerns the Gang Hospital.
I thought we had Kingston Hospital.
Do me a favor, because I represent the Basoga.
Because you don't see, so it is okay.
I'm very good. I'm very grateful, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I represent Iganga Municipality, and Iganga is located on a highway on Mbale, Jinja, Kampala Road. It is serving districts of Luuka, Kaliro, Mayuge, Namutumba, and Bugweri. But to our surprise, in all the arrangements, first of all, we thank the government. It renovated it to a status whereby it qualified to be a referral hospital. To our surprise, as the plans of Minister of Health, we are supposed to be declared a referral hospital to be upgraded to that status. But to our surprise, there are people, powerful people. I think for us in Iganga, we are not as powerful and very supposed to the NRM. They are saying that they are taking it to Bujiri because it has more supporters of NRM than us. And yet for the people of Bujiri, their demand was simple, to renovate Bujiri Hospital. Because theirs is to renovate Bujiri Hospital, ours is to upgrade to a referral hospital. Our prayer is one. Let them upgrade us, and they also take
There is an order.
Maybe let me assure you, my sister, before you go for that one, because yours is to renovate your hospital, not to upgrade. So you're giving a Musoga an order. Are you looking for development or under development? Because for me, I'm fighting for two things. I'm fighting for renovation and upgrade.
Honorable members, the two hospitals can coexist. Bugiri has its own hospital and Iganga has its own hospital. What goes to Bugiri is for Bugiri. What goes to Iganga is for Iganga. Iganga is basically for upgrade. Bugiri is a district hospital. And what we need all the hospitals operational. We don't fight for which one and the other. What we need to appreciate is, what we want is the ministry to ensure all of them are operational. So you Basoga don't need to quarrel here.
And the right honorable hospital, you have stated it rightly. Mine is after, let Bujiri be renovated and for us be upgraded. It's simple. Yeah, ma.
And that is what you want. It is okay. Agnes, it is okay.
Speaker.
Agnes, it is well. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker,
You have no answer.
the people of Uganda are facing a disruption in their order of business and communications operations. As you may have realized, many people of Uganda have had phones disconnected and SIM cards switched off, and most have been called for either a new verification exercise or update. Many people had their monies stored on their mobile wallets, on their SIM cards, and could not access it. As we speak, we have over 700,000 Ugandans and more who are living abroad that may not have access to these services, but have been using their functional SIM lines for either carrying out remittances at home or storage of their money on their mobile wallets, what we call the mobile money wallet. Now, recently, many have got communication of disruption in service to the effect that their SIM cards are no longer fully functional, and mainly to communication and operation of the mobile money wallets. Now, some were at the period where they were supposed to remit monies for school fees for their children, and others for their own operational businesses. Now, Right Honorable Speaker Nalongo, as the August House here, would like to be the voices of those people that cannot access these services for re-verification. That is one. Some are in the diaspora, but others are also here. The second issue is that those that have even gone back for re-verification have not found their monies on their mobile money wallets after re-verification. And others at some centers have been told to pay a certain sum of money. Now, the unpredictability of our investment society is a deterrence to investment. People should be able to know when they ought to either update their SIM card registration or verify. Secondly, we are going into a new phase because a SIM card should be either attached to your travel document, let's say passport, or to your national ID. Now, the issue before us here that we've been talking about was the countrywide update of the national identification card by NIRA. So we are going to go into an exercise of SIM card registration and a year later go back into an update exercise for national ID verification. Now, if there is no coordination between departments of government, and the regulator in that case should be the UCC that regulates these companies, there's a lot of cry about the operations of telecom companies in this country from our people, from people losing money from their mobile money wallets to the, of course, unstable internet that is not fully functional, like you can see, the poor bundle services that they are handling, but also the poor speeds of the internet that we have. But also finally, what is very pressing now, Right Honorable Speaker, is that there are over 1 million people who cannot access their mobile money wallets, that some are in the diaspora, others are here, and who is using their money for short-term borrowing and trading. We must audit that as Parliament. Therefore, we must...
What's your prayer?
My prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, is that the minister in charge of my ICT, my good friend, the Honorable Dr. Chris Variomus, comes here and informs the country as to why his government thinks you're doing a favor to the people to be on the telecom platforms, and why there is this disruption year after year and uncoordinated movement in the way you operate. UCC calls for verification, and before you know, we shall have new countrywide SIM card, national ID verification and update. So how many times shall we be moving hence and forth?
Thank you. Honorable Chris, you'll have to come up with a statement to that effect. I've had a number of people saying they've been cut off.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank the Honorable Sereko for raising the issue, although he's mixing many things in his submission. Government is coordinated, and the various agencies of government, UCC, NIRA, Ministry of Security, Ministry of ICT, we are coordinated and harmonized. I will come with a statement, maybe written, maybe next week. But for now, what I can confirm is that under the leadership of UCC, there has been a process of verification of SIM cards. And if your card was not verified, if you use it to call, there would be a reminder that between now and 11th November, please verify this card. Otherwise, it will be switched off. If I had to go for verification and no money was charged from me. So the process is on, but I will come with a written statement, maybe Tuesday, if you give me time to give the details.
Thank you.
But we shall investigate from the SIM cards.
Yes.
So the issue of the diaspora, we shall come with the answers.
Finance has a response on money. You know, it talks money.
But it is also true that next year, through NIRA, there will be a mass registration of all citizens. And there is no contradiction with the current process of verifying SIM cards, because no. You can get the new ID, but the NIN can remain. All these activities are harmonized and are well coordinated within the government. Thank you very much.
And it's also good for us to continuously have updates and
But also to add, Madam Speaker Narongo, that one of the benefits of this exercise is to reduce or eliminate cyber crimes which are committed using telecommunication, because you find there are people who have SIM cards, they are not registered in their names, and they use them to commit crimes. So one of the benefits
That
of this
is true.
exercise is to make sure that if you have a SIM card, it is in your names, and you are responsible for anything you do using that SIM card. So we to make sure that we have SIM cards registered.
It
and
was
verified.
actually the move of computer misuse.
Absolutely.
So it's
a written statement to answer all the issues, but I also engage Honorable Sereko to give me more details
Yes.
so that we can have a
you.
comprehensive response to
Thank
the
you.
issues being raised.
Finance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in the year 2020, this House enacted a law called National Payment Systems Act. This act established a platform where all electronic money is regulated by Bank of Uganda. I wish to allay the fears of Honorable Sereko that those who are being cut off, their money is being lost. That is not the case. All this money settles in Bank of Uganda, and the customers, the owner, the claimants of the money, there is a mechanism in the Bank of Uganda where they can claim all these balances. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable David.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. Right Honourable Speaker, when the people of Kabale heard about the good news of the twins, they were very happy. And the testimony is the delegation that we have sent here today to our parliament.
Honorable members, you clap for the Cavalry team.
And honorable members, the Speaker of Kabale District Council, Madam Flavia Kanajizi, is actually a mother-in-law of the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Thomas Taibwa, and she's here. So we want to congratulate you, Madam Speaker, and we pray and hope that now you have a new status of Nalongo that gives you momentum to fight for causes of health, especially reducing the maternal mortality rate and infant mortality rate in our country. Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you, our mother-in-law. It is not a mother-in-law, mother in love. The mother in love to the Deputy Speaker, you're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Next item.
Item 3. Bills first reading, 3.1. The Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023.
Honorable members, we have some bills for first reading, and I will invite the sponsor of the bill, and that is pursuant to Rule 128, and that is Honorable Saro Pende. And the bill, Minister of Finance denied to give a certificate of financial implication, and subsequently, we have had to invoke Section 76(4) of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 for the bill to be brought on to be read for the first time. And based on that, because the bill has spent 60 days, the bill is ready for reading. Honorable Sarah, can you present your bill?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 8th day of November 2022, this House granted me leave to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill. And Right Honorable Speaker, I have heard members saying that we are stopping people, we want to stop people from consuming alcohol. I want to let you know that the object of this bill is to regulate the manufacture, sale, and consumption of alcoholic drinks, prohibit the sale of supplying alcoholic drinks to children, and other related matters. Right Honorable Speaker and members.
Sarah laid the bill. We don't want the objects of the bill
Yes.
that was presented.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as you have clearly indicated, we relied on the 60-day rule, and this bill was gazetted. It's now my pleasure, honorable colleagues, to lay the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
And I beg to lay. I beg to lay the bill entitled the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023, that it be read for the first time. Thank you, Right Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you. In furtherance to Rule 1291 of the Rules of the Procedure, the bill is accordingly referred to the Committee of Health and Trade. It was seconded. The problem you're never here. Okay, let the drunkard second. Is the bill seconded? Seconded by Honorable Kotogong, Honorable Honorable Linos. I can see only the people seconding this bill. How much? Alioni, Honorable Alioni, Honorable Macho, Honorable. So the bill is seconded. Thank you so much. And we will give you the Health Committee and Trade, please handle this bill together. We've always got a benefit when two committees are handling a bill, especially that has an implication on health. Next.
Item 3.2, the Constitution Amendment Bill 2023.
Yes, procedure matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I have previously sought leave to amend the Constitution here, and you referred it to the Minister for Constitutional Affairs. I made another constitutional amendment. I submitted it to your office. And Right Honorable Speaker, on this floor, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs indicated to this House that they are going to have a Constitutional Review Commission, and for that reason, we cannot amend the Constitution piecemeal. You have even referred all our motions. Myself, I presented a motion to you regarding ministers who are in court and, you know, still holding the office. The Honorable Akol Anton had also a constitution amendment. The Honorable Karubanga Jacob Atenyi. Right Honorable Speaker, the reason you referred this was because I believe in your own document, you were referring the Constitution Review Commission. So, Right Honorable Speaker, it therefore beats my understanding when I see the executive coming up with the constitution amendment just for particular article, so that we can have the commissions which are affected by the mergers passed. So, Right Honorable Speaker, since we were assured that there will be a Constitutional Review Commission to handle these amendments, can we first have that Constitutional Review Commission? Short of that, Right Honorable Speaker, then you will allow all of us to present our motions to this House. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Saropendi. I had a number of constitutional amendments that were on my table, and I've written to Attorney General. I've not got a feedback up to date. Can we hear from Attorney General? What is the urgency that requires a piecemeal constitutional amendment?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My sister Sarah is shooting from the hip. I do understand her concerns, and several other people have expressed those concerns, just like the Speaker herself has written to us. But, Right Honorable Speaker, this bill is being moved by Ministry of Public Service, which is handling rationalization. It is being moved by Public Service, which is handling the issue of rationalization. To deal with the proposed merger of the Equal Opportunities Commission and the Human Rights Commission. Meanwhile, the rest of the comprehensive amendments that we have all been studying as a country, those proposed by law reform and those that we shall pick from the field, can be dealt with at once in one comprehensive move, because some of them may require referenda. So I'm simply requesting that you allow us to proceed with this. Thank you.
Clarification.
Procedure.
Chair, legal.
The microphone is refusing. Thank you very much, Honorable, Right Honorable. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you and having joined our association. Right Honorable, if we are to have an amendment to this constitution, time is now. And we need a comprehensive amendment. And now that government thinks this is the particular article that must be amended, and others also have interest in amending certain provisions, I think the only time we can have government to introduce these amendments is now. Time is now. Right? Deputy Attorney General, go back, consider all the necessary amendments, come up with the Constitutional Review Commission, and they handle the amendments, and this should be done. I don't see an urgency as far as this issue is concerned. Why only this? Do we think others are not important? I think the Deputy Attorney General should go back and they bring to us all the necessary amendments. Giving us only this, I think is not fair to this country. I agree with all the colleagues that we need a comprehensive amendment to the Constitution, and the time is now. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Nathan.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I think we should treat each other properly. The cabinet has always been behind rationalization. This house formed a committee, interim committee, ad hoc committee. We reported here. We couldn't debate because the Minister of Public Service said he wanted 60 days. This house has never been given an opportunity to debate. Now, they come with the bill.
Maybe just to help you.
Thank you.
There are several bills. We have the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2023 that seeks to harmonize the Human Rights Commission and equal opportunities. Then we also have the rationalization of government agencies, that is the Repeals and Amendments Bill 2023.
What I'm saying,
The issue of bringing this, it's because they want this one to go together. So we can't allow it. We must be respected. We must be given a chance to debate. Why are you taking us to Egypt? Right, Honorable Speaker, we can't afford to go backward. I think this is a high time where we respected each other. We can't have this parliament and you are a cabinet in the cabinet. Let's respect each other. We are all members of parliament, except you have other responsibility. Nothing else really. This is the same parliament. We are the same. We're the same. And when I see Honorable Mururu Mukasa, a senior NRM cadre, doing all these things, you are taking us backward, and this is what we have been here before. I am a senior person here. We sat here at the parliament. We deliberated about UCB up to midnight. Somebody said he would say it on a Sunday, and he was it on a Sunday. Now what are we doing? Are we going back to look for a commercial bank? Cooperatives and so many things. Kindly, Madam Speaker, I don't want this house to be taken for granted. The members of the cabinet are up to something bad for this country. The country belongs to all of us. We want these amendments to come at once. Let's have a stake in this country. You can't handle it single-handedly.
Which amendments do you want to come at once?
No, what I'm saying, the commission, this amendment of the Constitution is talking of commissions because they are here. He wants to abolish Opportunities Commission, Human Rights Commission, and the Law Reform Commission. Can you imagine a good government going on with a commission for the laws? For this country. And now you sit somewhere, you come and want to bring it under the ministry.
Honorable ministers, you'll come.
So, cut the long story short. No. No.
Honorable
Right,
members.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members.
I have reasoned the point of order.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable Oduria. Honorable Leon. Honorable Leon. I have said we can disagree, but respectfully. If the member has got up and he has an order, let's give him a chance. He says what he wants. At the end of the day, it is this house to decide. Bring his order. We shall give another person to say something and we move on. If the house say we are not ready for the amendments, we will not force the house.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I am the elected member for Chinchiz East in Kanungu, so nobody can stop me from speaking on this microphone. I rose on a point of order, Madam Speaker, and there has been a discussion within the cabinet, which has also found space here, and the government did promise that we shall follow the rules to come to Parliament. And now on the order paper, you are allowed to have this constitution amendment bill and also the rationalization bill, which to Parliament to be part of this discussion. Is it in order for the Honorable Byanyima, who is very senior, to impute that by the cabinet bringing these issues to Parliament, then we are undermining Parliament? Is it in order? Because these bills.
Honorable Chris, much as we have this on the order paper, this morning I actually passed the message to Honorable Muruli, where you have a repeal and amendments of over 40 entities. Now we have each of these entities has a sectoral committee. Tell me, how are you going to handle this whole booklet, this whole one, with the 40 entities? Meaning that we are going to have a committee of a whole house, where if you're talking about UNRWA, it will look at public service together with the committee of infrastructure. When you're talking about health, you're talking about public of health. How are you going to do that? You needed to do the things one-on-one. One-on-one. Huh? You're not going to bring everything on minibus. Huh? It helps you in doing all this. And remember that all of them have different laws. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker, before I really answer that question, allow me, Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Ministry of Public Service and the entire service, to congratulate you upon becoming a Nalongo. Congratulations indeed, and indeed, you have also to congratulate the Salongo for that very commendable work that has been done. Right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Honorable Sereko is also a Salongo. He has acclaimed as a Salongo. Yes, please. Congratulations, Nalongo. Congratulations, Salongo, and indeed all the Salongos in this house, and the Nalongos in this house, and the Nalongos in the country and outside this house. Congratulations. You have acceded to that very prestigious position of being a Nalongo. And allow me to use the very important congratulatory message that is used in this part of the country. Bweza, bweza, bweza wa Nalongo, bweza wa Salongo. Right, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, I must.
Honorable members, listen to Honorable Muruli, and Honorable Muruli is one of the senior legislators, and because he's a senior, he's going to listen to the House.
Yes, and I always listen to the House, Right Honorable Speaker. I must apologize, Right Honorable Speaker, that I did not receive your advice this morning. However, I have had the opportunity now, with your indulgence, to receive it now of how the approach that we are going to use in handling this omnibus bill. Yes, there are many agencies involved. Unfortunately, there are various committees involved. And I think, as you are asking, part of the answer of how we are going to approach this was given. You gave it yourself. And given, of course, enough time, we can engage the various committees involved with each of these agencies. And then we come up finally to the House and debate this omnibus bill and pass it if we so wish. Right Honorable Speaker, the question of not debating, I think, Right Honorable Speaker, is out. I think it is part of our procedure that we debate. And this is to allay the fears of our senior colleague, Honorable Byanyima, who is a senior legislator, that there is some kind of stampede and that there is not going to be any debate at all. Really, God forbid.
There's a procedure.
That there will be no debate. I would like to assure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a procedure point. Right Honorable Speaker, you constituted a select committee in this House. This select committee used public resources to look at the proposed mergers and presented a report in this House. And Right Honorable Speaker, you deferred the debate, awaiting government to go and sit proposals so that we can debate. We have never debated that report, Right Honorable Speaker. Instead of now the minister coming to maybe present their position on the report, we are seeing a bill. Right, Honorable Speaker, are we proceeding well as a House when you constituted a select committee whose report has never been debated? And instead, we are now looking at, before we debate, we are going into handling bills.
Honorable Minister, we had a select committee in this House. We had a report and we are awaiting from Cabinet on the position of Cabinet. It does not stop us from debating if they are brought in a correct way. And that's why I'm telling you, Minister, don't bring them in totality, omnibus. Bring entity by entity, such that we'll compare our report together with your report. Yours is a bill. Bring a bill of UNRWA. If you want to repeal UNRWA, it is this House to know whether it will repeal or not. You get it, eh? You bring your proposal. For us, we also have our proposal as a House. Then we shall sort it from here. But you don't bring it in omnibus. Isn't that what, Honorable Bianye, isn't that what the House?
That's what we would have loved, because there is no better person here other than the sector committee.
Yes.
Each sector committee would definitely have a better judgment of whether an agency should be merged or mainstreamed or rationalized.
If we have
thank you.
Different reports, you have NITA-U, you have what, we will refer them to different sectoral committees. And those sectoral committees will bring those amendments. Whether we are amending an act of UNRWA, whether we are amending an act of NITA-U, whether we are amending an act of whichever. So we want them separately. Yes. Honorable Kwizera.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much. And I join those who are congratulating you and Obuchimbi to congratulate you. Honorable members, I want to appeal to Honorable Mukasa to listen to me and the ministers. Honorable members, this omnibus the omnibus and the constitutional amendment as proposed by the minister. It is the power of Parliament to actually make a law or repeal the law. This omnibus provision is of about 40 clauses or acts of Parliament can only be made when the minister justifies the cost implications. The bill should come with the cost implications, because not every people who are retired by government policy or law are compensated in time. We look at the East African community members, they are still demanding. Those organizations that were privatized, they are still demanding. And honorable members, we look at our budget. The budget provision is for salary, gratuity, pension, and statutory obligations like paying the debt is less than the money collected by this country, which is, we are in a danger, we're in a red mark. So now when you go to rationalize and you again retrench people, it means it is a cost on the pension, which the government of Uganda cannot sustain. So they needed to tell us that we are going to rationalize, so many people are going to lose their jobs, and so much money will be paid, and in what period? Instead of having a pension and being promised gratuity, which they will never get. The third point is that Honorable Minister has taken over the government. They have taken over government, meaning that all of the bills will be handled by the one minister.
Local government. That will be handled by local government.
No, the omnibus.
I mean public service.
I'm saying the omnibus is going to be handled by one minister, meaning that that is irregular. So we need justification for the cost, and the political implication. Because when the population is growing, services cannot be shrunk. We
Honorable
need the
member,
services. I thank
honorable
you.
members, honorable members, when you look at the principles of the bill, there is the RAPEX policy. That is the rationalization of government public service, public expenditure. First of all, we need to know the cost implication. I don't think government is even up to date on the RAPEX policy. RAPEX policy. Government is not up to date. You need to give us information about it. On the cost implications of that policy, we need to look at the structural implications, the legal, the service delivery, and then the implications on the multi-year commitment that we are going in. That's what we need to get from you. Shema, honorable members, I think we're even wasting a lot of time
anti yeyagula era nomukugula yeyagula ogambye nti nze nsubire nakola sanya
monopolistic control of any segment of the supply chain. The clause further proposes to insert a new objective, I, to facilitate the Uganda National Oil Company or such other person nominated by the minister with the cabinet approval to import all petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market. The committee noted that currently Uganda imports 90% of its petroleum products through Kenya and 10% through Tanzania. The country has an annual consumption of 2.5 billion liters of petrol, diesel, jet A1, and kerosene, with an annual growth of 7%. On average, petrol takes the biggest share of imports, followed by diesel, then jet A1 and kerosene, in that order. The said petroleum products are purchased by Ugandan companies from Kenyan companies, which have been operating under the open tender system until April this year, when Kenya moved from open tender system to government, dealing directly with the countries where they now import their petroleum products. The open tender system, OTS, was guaranteed by the Ministry of Petroleum and Mining in Kenya, which is responsible for regulation of imports of all petroleum products in Kenya. The Ministry of Petroleum and Mining in Kenya instituted the quantities for the Kenyan domestic market for onward transit to neighboring countries at a 60-to-40 ratio, respectively. In essence, 60% of all the fuel imported through Kenya is retained in the Kenyan market, and neighboring countries, including Uganda, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, have to share the 40% share allocation. The system currently imposes 3 layers of middlemen, from the overseas refinery to the Ugandan oil marketing companies, with the companies including Aramco, ADNOC, and ENOC as the first layer traders from the overseas refineries. Companies that constitute the second layer include Galana, Gulf, and Oryx Kenya. The third layer includes Total, Vivo, Starbucks, Rubis, and City Oil, and Haas, which then supply to the Ugandan importer oil marketing companies. Each of these companies infuses a profit margin, which is ultimately fed into the final pump price. Right, Honorable Speaker, as you can see, that's a diagrammatic representation of the path of petroleum product importation into the country, but also there is the lower part, which is demonstrating what we are going to how we are going to eliminate a number of middlemen when UNOC is empowered. Right, Honorable Speaker, I now move on to talk about the volume of monthly petroleum imports for Uganda. And that chart basically represents, it shows the volume of petroleum products imported by Uganda every month. And the source is Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development data. The committee noted that inability to purchase directly from the refineries leads to an extra markup on Uganda's fuel from Kenyan companies. Insecurity in supply for petroleum products and inability to directly negotiate for petroleum prices with the refiners, which inevitably contributes to high and unpredictable pump prices. The committee noted that the bill proposes to cure this by making UNOC the sole importer and supplier of all petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market to the licensed oil marketing companies,
and thus remove middlemen and their attendant cost and surcharge implications. The committee, however, noted the revelation by the Ministry of Energy that UNOC lacks the financial capacity to directly purchase petroleum products from the international refineries and shall thus be buying from an international company, Vitol, which shall finance the supply of the petroleum products up to delivery points in Kenya and Tanzania on a non-immediate cash payment basis to enable UNOC pay after supplying the oil marketing companies within Uganda. The committee notes that the proposal in the clause shall go a long way in eliminating 2 layers of middlemen from the petroleum supply chain, as well as growing the capital base and business capacity of UNOC. The committee therefore recommends that clause 1 stands part of the bill as proposed. I move now to interpretation. Clause 2 seeks to introduce a definition of licensed oil marketing companies.
I thought that's what you discussed when it comes to committee stage.
Okay, thank you for your guidance, but I thought it would be, because we had observations also. Okay.
That is committee stage. You are now taking us to the committee stage. So if you're finished,
okay, the committee notes, Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for the guidance, that whereas it is important to define the term licensed oil marketing companies for clarity of use in the law, Section 17(2) of the Principal Act prohibits a person from performing petroleum supply operations without having obtained a petroleum operating license under the Act, but not the petroleum supply operations license referred to in the clause. The committee therefore recommends that the words petroleum supply operation license be substituted with the words petroleum operating license for consistency. Supply chain of petroleum products. Clause 3 of the bill seeks to substitute Section 29 of the Principal Act, which allows any person, whether Ugandan or foreign, to participate in all or any activities of the supply chain by restricting the importation and supply of petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market to the licensed oil marketing companies to be undertaken only by UNOC. The clause also empowers the minister by statutory instrument under exceptional circumstances with the approval of cabinet to nominate such other person to import and supply all or a portion of petroleum products. The exceptional circumstances are where UNOC fails to import and supply petroleum products in any given month, or where UNOC becomes insolvent. The clause further obligates all licensed oil marketing companies to purchase all their petroleum product requirements from UNOC or other nominated persons by the minister. The committee observed that the clause buttresses with clause 1 to ensure protection and capacity building for UNOC, to shield it against competition as a Ugandan-only company, to import and supply petroleum products for the Ugandan oil marketing companies. The committee further noted that the clause, by empowering the minister to nominate any other person, is introducing a buffer in case UNOC is unable to import and supply petroleum products, or if it becomes bankrupt. This shall ensure continuity of supply so that there is no scarcity of petroleum products at any one time in the economy. The committee therefore agrees to the proposal in the bill. Regarding petroleum products to be imported and supplied by UNOC, Clause 4 introduces a third schedule which lists the petroleum products to be sourced and supplied by UNOC to include premium motor gasoline or super petrol, automotive gas oil or diesel, jet A1, and dual-purpose kerosene. The committee noted that the proposal
does not include differentiated or specialized petroleum products, as well as lubricants, both of which are being imported and supplied into the Ugandan market. The committee therefore recommends that the proposed third schedule be amended to include differentiated or specialized petroleum products and lubricants, as shall be specified by the different oil marketing companies. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I now move to our general observations and recommendations. One, the need for multiple suppliers. The committee observed that in Kenya, the G2G importation of petroleum products is undertaken with the 3 multinational companies, whereas it is crucial to build the capacity of UNOC in the interim. This should be followed by government identifying and entering into partnership with the multiple multinational players in the petroleum supply chain, as in the case of Kenya. The committee therefore recommends that government identifies other suitable companies to supply UNOC in the long term. Funding to UNOC. The committee observed that since the inception of UNOC, it has lacked sufficient funds to execute its mandate of managing the state's commercial interests in the oil and gas sector, including importation and supply of petroleum products from oil refineries abroad. Although the current endeavor is meant to build capacity of UNOC to import and supply petroleum products to the Ugandan markets, it still needs additional resources to be able to deal directly with international refineries. The committee therefore recommends that government enhances funding for UNOC to enable it independently execute its mandate. Possible working partnerships for UNOC. The committee was informed that oil refineries only deal with big companies of high financial standing. For this reason, even Kenyan companies participating in the open tender system, including Vivo Kenya, could not manage to have a standalone arrangement with refineries. A typical refinery will require a standby letter of credit or bank guarantee issued by one of the 50 top banks in the world for volumes of at least 356 days. In Uganda's case, the current annual import of approximately 2.5 billion liters would require a bank guarantee of at least US dollars 1.5 billion. The committee therefore recommends that UNOC should explore possible working partnerships with willing entities that have developed capacity in transportation and storage of petroleum products. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, regarding establishment of the Technical Petroleum Committee, Section 8 of the Principal Act 2003 provides for the establishment of the Technical Petroleum Committee that consists of a chairperson, 8 other members who possess qualifications and expertise in respect of petroleum supply and related matters to be appointed by the minister. In addition, Section 9 of the Principal Act outlines the functions of the Technical Petroleum Committee, among others to include advising the minister on proposed legislation, technical standards, and specifications relating to petroleum products and the supply chain, and developing and submitting to the minister proposals for the improvements of the petroleum supply policies, systems, regulations, technical standards, and codes of practice. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the committee noted with concern that 20 years since the enactment of the Act, the Technical Petroleum Committee has never been set up. The absence of the committee indicates a significant gap in the oversight and advisory mechanisms for the petroleum supply and related matters, which impedes effective performance of this subsector. Right Honorable Speaker, we therefore recommend that the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development should operationalize the Technical Petroleum Committee as stipulated in Part 3 of the Principal Act 2003. I now move to elimination of intermediary oil marketing companies. The committee noted that there is an option of UNOC dealing with the oil refineries directly. This would eliminate all middlemen from the supply chain. We therefore recommend that in the long term, UNOC should explore opportunities of direct engagement with refineries. This shall minimize costs and increase stability of petroleum product supply into the economy. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to report.
Thank you so much, Chair. Honorable members, I just want to remind you that if you don't agree with the person reading, or if you don't agree with the contents, keep quiet, wait for yours to be read. At the end of the day, it is a question to be put. It's not about those arguments. Now, my Iganga man is murmuring here. Iganga, when you want to fight, you go to the corridor. I think you have a personal problem. Now, Honorable Kamba, read your report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'll go straight to...
So what are you clapping for?
I'll go straight...
You know, at one time they say...
Compliance of the bill.
Oh, I'm asking, what are you clapping for? You've become kind of people who say that so long as they can say I. Now, for you, that is the kind of...
Compliance of the bill to the National Development Plan 3. The NDP 3 seeks to increase the competitiveness and strength of the private sector to drive sustainable and inclusive growth. As a key to national development policy, the NDP 3 seeks to ensure that the government works with the private sector to ensure that the resource-led industrialization process is both sustainable and beneficial to its citizens. NDP 3 advocates for the prevention of non-tariff barriers in regional markets, competition policies, and laws that encourages innovations. Enforcement of standards and the proliferation of counterfeits. The proposed amendments to the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill, Ignore Act, are therefore not in conformity with NDP 3. Committee analysis, observations, and recommendations. This part of the report will examine the proposed clauses of the bill, their constitutionality and relevance in light of existing laws and policy, court decisions, and the mischief they intend to cure. The analysis is based on the thematic areas as provided for in the bill, as well as new proposals to the bill. Amendment of Objectives of Principal Act. Clause 1 of the bill seeks to delete Section 3 of the Principal Act, whose objective was to encourage and promote fair competition within the petroleum supply market, to eliminate discrimination or preferential treatment of any participant, and prevent monopolistic control of any segment of the supply chain. The clause further proposes to insert new objective I to facilitate the Uganda National Oil Company or such other person nominated by the minister with cabinet approval to import all petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market. Committee observation. The committee noted that currently, Uganda imports 90% of its petroleum products through Kenya and 10% through Tanzania. The country has an annual consumption of 2.5 billion liters of petrol, diesel, jet A1, and kerosene, with an annual growth of 7%. On average, petrol takes the biggest share of imports, followed by diesel, jet A1, and then kerosene. The said petroleum products are purchased by Ugandan companies from Kenyan companies, which have been operating under the open tender system until April 2023, when Kenya moved from Otis to government, dealing directly with countries where they now import their petroleum products from. The OTS system was guaranteed by the Ministry of Petroleum and Mining in Kenya, which is responsible for regulation of imports of all petroleum products in Kenya. The committee noted that whereas the proposal in the bill is to have UNOC as the sole importer and supplier of all petroleum products for the Ugandan market, interaction with the Minister of Energy revealed that UNOC has no financial capacity to sustain the business of importation and supply of petroleum products for the Ugandan market, and it has executed an agreement with Vitol Bahrain EC, an international trading company, as the sole supplier of petroleum products for UNOC for 5 years, locking out all other competitors from the Ugandan market. The committee noted that handpicking of Vitol Bahrain EC and creation of a monopoly for it to supply UNOC was not justified. Submissions from entities like HEC International Limited, E3 Group, asserted that their capacity to finance the supply of petroleum products to UNOC, Mascrine Limited expressed their ability to offer a bank guarantee to UNOC so that UNOC directly deals with oil refineries. Details in the minutes and attachments. Had government invoked the provisions of the PPD Act and advertised the offer, a number of entities, including UNOC, would have expressed interest, and the country would have got the best offers rather than limiting it to only one company. Better still, the government should have considered government-to-government arrangement. Further, the committee observed that there is a possibility of government dealing directly with the refineries without involving intermediary oil marketing companies. A point in case is Zimbabwe, where a veteran company called CFC Energy Private Limited entered into agreement with the Rafan Refinery Limited. I would like to lay on table proof of this kind of arrangement of Rafan Refinery with the Zimbabwean country. I beg today. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues,
What are you
the
laying?
committee noted that.
What are you laying?
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm laying a copy of the agreement that a company belonging to veterans in Zimbabwe entered directly into an arrangement with the refinery called Rafan Refinery 2, and it was able to succeed, yet it was just a mere private company, not even government. The committee noted that whereas inability to purchase directly from the refineries leads to an extra markup on Uganda's fuel from Kenyan companies, insecurity in supply of petroleum products, and inability to directly negotiate for petroleum prices with refiners, which inevitably contributes to high and unpredictable pump prices, the proposed monopoly is not a preferable option, since there is no competitiveness in price against a monopolistic player, importer, and supplier. The chart shows the pump price per liter of fuel in the recent months. The committee further noted that fluctuation and scarcity of petroleum products in Uganda is not singly attributable to lack of a single national importer and supplier, but rather to a number of factors, all of which need to be historically addressed. These include fuel stock levels. Although Section 26 of the Petroleum Supply Act requires every licensee to maintain minimum working stocks of petroleum products as prescribed by regulations in order to assure continuity of the petroleum supply, these regulations are not in place. The Ugandan fuel market has numerous players, with the biggest market share operated by multinational companies who determine their individual stocking and price decisions. The committee noted that the UNOCO's stock levels are 30 million, but UNOCO lacks consistency in replenishing the reserves. The chart below shows volume and value of petroleum products imported by Uganda monthly. I will go to delays in transportation. due to reliance on road transport. The absence of bulk and efficient transportation means leaves oil marketing companies with the only option of picking products from Kenya by trucks. Although UNOC has utilized the rail transport to bring products to Jinja storage terminal via the lake, the current lake transport facility ferry can only ship a maximum of 900,000 liters of diesel in 5 days. The transport notwithstanding, UNOC does not possess the financial muscle to facilitate trading activities. It was noted that in October 31st, 2022, UNOC had a trading stock level of 6,701,604 liters of both petrol and diesel at the Jinja storage terminal. Instead rents the premises out to other oil marketing companies. There is no evidence that UNOC currently fully utilizes the Jinja storage terminal. The tax regime. In Uganda, gasoline, which is petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene, attract an excise duty in form of a fixed fuel levy by category per liter imported. For each liter of fuel, there is an excise duty of 1,444 Uganda shillings for petrol and 1,140 for diesel. The chart shows the tax regime. The source is the East African tariff regime. The cost of taxation is inevitably transmitted to the final pump price, contributing to the fluctuation in price. The committee noted that the lack of a sole importer to supply UNOC is not the sole ground upon which the scarcity, fluctuation in prices, and non-direct participation by UNOC in the petroleum business. Thus, is not direct justification of amendment to facilitate UNOC as a sole importer for all petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market. Regional comparisons of retail pump prices. The figure below shows the average prices per liter of petrol and diesel in 3 East African countries. These are retail level prices, including all taxes and fees as of 25th October 2023. Comparatively, retail pump price for both diesel and petrol were highest in Kenya, followed by Uganda and Tanzania. Currently, Uganda is a liberalized economy whose fuel pricing is determined by the market forces of demand and supply with little or no involvement of government. The committee notes that although the proposal in the clause shall eliminate 2 layers of middlemen from the petroleum supply chain, the introduction of Vitor Bahrain EC still creates a layer of a middleman who shall still buy from a refinery and sell to UNOC at a markup. The committee further noted Uganda's commitments and obligation to equality and non-discrimination embedded in constitutional provisions, judicial decisions, policy, regional, and international obligations, as well its policy as a liberalized free market economy. The committee noted that the bill offends the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, under whose objective 9 of the national objectives and directive principles of state policy provides that the state shall encourage private initiative and self-reliance in order to facilitate rapid and equitable development. This objective is in line with Section 2 of the Public Enterprises Reform and Diversity Act 1993, the objective of which in part provides for the reduction of government entity holding in public enterprises and promotion of local entrepreneurship. Further, the bill violates Article 21 of the Constitution, which provides for a right to equality and freedom from discrimination, wherein all persons are equal before and under the law in all spheres of political, economic, social, and cultural life, and in every other respect, and shall enjoy equal protection of the law. Subsection 2 provides that, clause 2 of Article 21 provides that without prejudice to clause 1 of this article, a person shall not be discriminated against on the ground of sex, race, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed, or religion, social or economic standing, political opinion, or disability. Article 40, Clause 2, entitles every person in Uganda to the right to practice his or her profession and to carry on a lawful occupation, trade, or business. The only exception to the enjoyment of these rights and freedoms is under Article 43, which prohibits a person shall not from prejudicing the fundamental or other human rights and freedoms of others or the public interest, which shall not permit political persecution, detention without trial, any limitation of the enjoyment of the rights and freedoms prescribed beyond what is acceptable, demonstrably justifiable in a free and democratic society, or what is provided in the Constitution. The committee notes that the proposed limitation of the enjoyment of economic rights through the creation of a monopoly is not justifiable in a free and democratic society. The committee noted that the clause contradicts Section 2, Section 6, subsection 2, paragraph A and B, as well as Section 7F of the Principal Act, which obligate the minister to make legislation and regulations to secure adequate supply of petroleum products at competitive, I emphasize at competitive cost for all consumers, promote the increase of opportunities for regional petroleum trade, and encourage a diversity of supply sources, as well as the observance of the principle of free market economy and fair competition. The clause further offends the Section 30 of the Principal Act, which prohibits activities against fair competition. The committee further noted that the Competition Bill 2023, as passed by Parliament, though not yet assented to by the President, was a government bill whose policy objective was to promote sustainable, fair competition in Uganda and prohibit anti-competitive agreements which have an adverse effect on competition in the market. It is important to take cognizance of its intended principles, which received cabinet approval before it was tabled in Parliament. The committee noted that Ugandan courts have struck out provisions of law that grant the government preferential treatment over private parties. For instance, in the case of Attorney General versus Ostrako, Civil Appeal number 32 of 2002, and Uganda National Roads Authority versus Vivo Energy Uganda Limited, High Court miscellaneous application number 209 of 2014, and Spectre Flight Limited and three others versus Attorney General and another constitutional petition number 85 of 2011. Further, the committee noted that the bill violates international instruments, including the competition regulation is 2004 and the East Africa Community Competition Act 2000. The commercial competition regulation prohibits member states from anti-competitive practices. Similarly, the East African Community Competition Act, to which Uganda is a signatory, stipulates as some of its objectives: protecting all market participants from freedom to compete by prohibiting anti-competitive practices, protecting the opening of partner states against the creation of barriers, interstate trade, and economic transactions by market participants, guaranteeing equal opportunities in the community to all market participants in the community, and especially to small, medium-sized enterprises, guaranteeing a level playing field for all market participants in the community by eliminating any discrimination by partner states on the basis of nationality or residence. The committee noted that through interactions with the stakeholders showed that there are other players who can either work directly with UNOC or work alongside it to ensure competitiveness in pump price and guarantee security of supply of petroleum products. The committee also noted that past experience of monopolies, including Umeme, the Enrico Agreement, the Iron Ore Agreement, and the second instrument that was issued, the Eurocement Agreement, have cost the country money and set a bad precedence for monopolies in Uganda. Thus, the committee's decision against creation of monopoly for the petroleum sector. Key recommendation. The committee recommends that clause 1 be deleted from the bill. Interpretation. Clause 2.6 to introduce a definition of licensed oil marketing, granted the petroleum supply operations license under section 17 to import petroleum products into Uganda. Committee recommendation. The committee recommends that as a consequence of rejection of clause 3 and clause 2 be deleted as well. Supply chain of petroleum products. Clause 3 of the bill seeks to substitute section 20 Principal Act, which allows any person, whether Ugandan or foreign, to participate in all or any activities of the supply chain by restricting the importation and supply of petroleum products destined for the Ugandan market. The licensed oil marketing companies to be undertaken only by UNOC. Because, however, empower the minister by statutory instrument and exceptional circumstances with the approval of cabinet, nominate other person to import and supply all or a portion of products. The exceptional circumstances are where UNOC fails products in any given month or where UNOC becomes insolvent. The clause further obligates all licensed oil marketing companies to purchase all of their petroleum product requirements from UNOC or other nominated person by the minister. Committee observation is the committee noted that UNOC is incorporated as a limited liability company owned by the government of Uganda with its function set out in section 43 of the Petroleum Exploration, Development and Production Act 2013 to include A, to handle the state's commercial interests in the petroleum subsector, to manage state participation in petroleum activities, and to manage the business aspects of state participation. The committee further noted that under UNOCO's Memorandum of Association, the objects of the company include to manage the state's commercial interests in the petroleum subsector on behalf of the Republic of Uganda, to manage state participation in petroleum activities, including its business aspects. The committee therefore noted that there is no legal deterrence to UNOCO's participation in business in the petroleum sector. It should trade alongside other players, but perhaps offer more competitive prices that shall outcompete other players to create for it a natural monopoly. Committee recommendation is, the committee recommends that the clause be deleted for buttressing the already rejected monopoly proposal, but also for providing for UNOCO's right to engage in petroleum trade, a position that is already provided for in other legislations. Petroleum products to be imported and supplied by UNOC. Clause 4 introduces a third schedule which lists the petroleum products to be sourced and supplied by UNOC to include premium motor gasoline or super petrol, automatic gasoline or diesel, jet A1 and dual purpose kerosene. Committee recommendation. The committee recommends that the proposed third schedule be deleted consequential to the rejection of the bill. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I beg to report.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Kamba, for the report. Dr. Tala, thank you for the report. And you've had both reports. I'll open minimum debate. And as I said before, these reports are informative. What matters is the clauses. Yes, Stephen?
Right Honorable Speaker, Stephen Baka, Mugabe, Bukoli County North. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the report of the committee, which is also the majority report. Madam Speaker, this country collectively sat here as represented by their MPs, and we made the law to put in place an institution that would take care of our interests in the oil sector. And that is the Uganda National Oil Company. One of the major mandates is to take care of our interests collectively as a people. It beats my understanding when I hear some quarters of this country, some members trying to want to put their interests in private companies. How can that be, Right Honorable Speaker? The Uganda National Oil Company, we should collectively empower them to take care of our interests. It's like a child at home. When a father is at home, those children, the parents take care of them. When they are sick, they must be taken to hospital. When it comes to schools, you want the best for your child. And therefore, the Uganda National Oil Company, for me, it is not right for us to use middlemen in Kenya to feed us when we could empower our own, our child. We are a government, we are a people. There is nothing better than empowering our own institutions. We're always crying here about strengthening institutions. And this is an opportunity to strengthen our own institution that can take care of our interests. What is wrong with our own child? You know, the taking of those profits, the third parties are taking in Kenya. And for me, the way I see it, Right Honorable Speaker, you know, because the member alluded to a lot of laws, and I'm a lawyer. Under Article 40, where economic interests are provided, this law does not seek to stifle the businesses of these private companies. They can still get these products from UNOC as if they are getting them from those third parties they are getting from in Kenya. And business will be done without any stifling. So no one is being thrown out of business. It is just empowering UNOC to act as if it were those middlemen in Kenya, earning a lot of money from us.
Honorable members, UNOC is a government entity. Let's run away from the dependency syndrome. We want to depend on those brokers. Huh? Alion. Alion.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me take this chance to also congratulate you upon the twins. I also speak in the capacity of Salongo. So welcome to the family. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here in support of the bill. Right Honorable Speaker, UNOC is a Ugandan company. Right Honorable Speaker, UNOC stands to serve the interests of this nation, Uganda. Who are the shareholders? We have Ministry of Finance that is representing this country with 51% of the shares. 49. Then we've got Ministry of Energy having 51% of the shares. Right Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, you know what we've been going through with oil and fuel prices in this country. You who are listening to me in this house, you're also victims. You know what I'm talking about in commerce. We are tired of our prices being controlled by neighboring countries. We are not against other players, the private companies in this business. But UNOC is here to serve the interests of government in the oil sector. So it beats my understanding when I see my colleagues, instead of joining efforts to see that we support UNOC, they are trying to serve selfish interests of private companies in this country.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I beg
You
submit.
allow Allion to speak. Allion, Mama, you speak.
All right. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have regulators. We are not saying UNOC is going to run as an independent company. No. We've got the Uganda Petroleum Authority. These are some of the regulators. So it's not going to run independently, as my colleagues think. Right, Honorable Speaker, with those few words, as we plan and join our submissions, think about these members who are victims of the high price of fuel. Thank you.
I will have Honorable Nathan, because me and him were in the same business. Then after Nathan, I will have Katesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to state from onset that nobody is saying UNOC should not do business of fear. Nobody has stopped them. Nobody. And the law allows them to do it. If they wanted money, they should have brought here a budget of $100 million. We give them to go directly to the refinery. Nobody stops them, Madam Speaker. And I want to ask the president and the people advising the president that is important we give UNOC money.
Honorable Nankabira, can you listen?
It is to ask that we, the UNOC should be given money and it trades directly from the refinery. Because when you say you're bringing Vito, now some of you may not be knowing it. It is the shareholder of Vivo Energy. Yeah, it's the own share, and Vivo Energy is the one trading as a share. They are using just a trademark, but in short, what they are trying to do now, they are going to come through their refinery, whatever called the refinery, through UNOC to Vivo, and are going to control this market. And I can tell you what you are trying to do. You may have been done it for them to make money and at the expense of people of Uganda. Madam Speaker, I have seen your order paper today, which you approved. And under one of the clauses is 3. You're saying rationalization of government agencies, repeals and amendment bill 2023. Madam Speaker, this was put in because that there are some agencies which are not performing and you need to merge them to do some active. But even UNOC must have failed, because if we have 30 million liters in ginger, they don't have even 1 liter to rush to be there so that they regulate the market. They are making a mistake. Madam Speaker, let me give an example of Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda is in the Forex. I want to talk about on the Forex. When the dollar goes too high, they come in to bring in money to bring it down. When the money becomes too low, they go in to mop it out so that the price stabilizes. UNOC could be operating like Bank of what? Uganda. They don't come in to remove Forex bureaus. What you do, you regulate the market so that the economy moves. And I want to explain to you how the economy moves in the fuel market. Madam Speaker, oil is the first traded commodity in the whole world. And everybody would love to deal in fuel. And I want to speak and tell you that, one, if you wanted to, that anybody wanted to get, maybe let me ask you a question which the minister will answer. How did you get Vitro in the market? How? Because we in the public, we advertise. And when we advertise, people pick their bids and come in, the best bidder evaluated is the one who takes the contract. But this one, I have read all the newspapers. I have even read The Economist because I read economics. I have not seen an advert by UNOC that it's looking for somebody to supply from the foreign. Amos, Enos, I will help you. Don't panic.
Nathan has a procedure matter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the bill is more of empowering UNOC. Yes, the question my honorable colleague is discussing or trying to debate about is how UNOC will operate. My sincere request to you, Madam Speaker, guide us. Should we first deal with empowering UNOC. Then we get to on the part of how UNOC will operate. Because the discussion, yes, wait a minute. Look at the bill. The bill is not mentioning about Vitol, it's not mentioning about Shell. The argument is, why don't we first deal with empowering UNOC? And then we all agree. Number two, we come on how do we empower UNOC to carry out the operations that we have given in the Act. So, Madam Speaker, kindly guide us on how we...
Honorable members, the issue is about UNOC. But what Honorable Nandala is raising, is also a food for thought. Now, Nathan is raising an issue that we've already entered into an agreement with Vitok. How did we reach that level? And that is something that should be corrected in the law. That before you enter into such an agreement, it must be approved by this house. Huh?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when we come in the house, Enos, I want to tell you, I am one of those who comes here for the interest of the country. If you have personal interests, I'm not interested in them. Yes, I want to tell you that. Because what I'm trying to explain, I have not raised anything against, please. Hold on what? Madam Speaker, I want to beg you to do
Can you conclude?
Yes,
I've understood what you're saying.
Yes, no, Madam Speaker, I want to beg you that maybe again you should do an induction for members of parliament. Yes. Because the way they are behaving, they are making the house look. Madam Speaker, I want to move on and say, I have the following, which I want to lay on the table, maybe for members to really follow for this purpose of the law. Madam Speaker, I sorted them. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, there's the Constitutional Court Constitutional Petition number 85 of 2011, which is about spendage interflight, SD trans, which Kamba talked about. There's a ruling, Madam Speaker, and maybe for purpose of this committee, for this meeting, the ruling is very clear. Unfortunately, the judges on that include, at that time, Onyudoro now is the Supreme Court Chief Justice.
Why is it unfinished?
No, because if the matter goes again to court there, he will refer to his court. The lower court. That during my lower court, I ruled like this. I don't think he will run away. Of course, Kenneth Kakuru, the late. The ruling is this. I will just mention those few, but the ruling is this, Madam Speaker. This is where you can't beat me. I would therefore declare that the act of the respondents executing a contract which purported to vest monopoly rights over clearing, forwarding, and handling services of all imports and exports to and from Uganda through the port of Mombasa in the second respondents is inconsistent with and in contravention of Article 42, Article 43 of the Constitution, and that extent null and void. I would grant the petitioner's costs of this petition, signed on 25th day of August 2020. And Madam Speaker, the Attorney General was then the one who was taken to court with Great Lakes. When the Great Lakes wanted, you had signed a contract, they wanted the monopoly. I lay on the table. Madam Speaker.
Attorney General, I hope you're taking a note.
There is the supplementary. This is the East African Community Competition Act 2006, arrangements of the section, but specifically Section 5 says prohibition of anti-competitive concerted practices. It was signed by the President of Uganda on 22nd December 2011. This one is against monopoly or competitiveness where there is ant. And Madam Speaker, unless we are moving away from East Africa, I lay it on the table. Madam Speaker, There's the PAD statute, which we have read about, which all of you, I'm going to read. This one removed where they said government is a poor businessman, or we can say woman. And Madam, okay,
no,
man, okay.
Information, give me information. Information.
Okay.
Information.
So you've given out the microphone.
Information.
You've given out the
That's
microphone.
enough. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Nandala Mafavi, thank you for the wise information. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Like the Honorable Nandala Mafavi has said, we are not against UNOC. But in your report clearly, you've informed this House that UNOC is unable. And therefore, it identified a partner by signing an MOU. And the question is that if you're kicking out middlemen,
Maybe, and it is also saying
Yeah.
that is also capable of identifying other partners.
agreed, Right Honorable Speaker, and we are not objecting to that. And we are the same House that sat here and passed a law against that would fight the tendency of creating monopolies in this economy. And the reason is to start giving a policy that gives other startups empowerment, just like we are empowering UNOC, but there are also other players. The issue is, and what countrymen will ask us, that we've knocked ourselves before on the matter of Umeme, in the matters of Bujagali, in the matter of Dura Cement, in the matter of Peneti, in coffee, and in the matter of Rubowa Hospital again. And we are coming back as the same House. How shall we explain to the people that we are the very same House that comes here and legislates after agreements have been entered into by government without consulting the people and without involving the people of this country? So the information I wanted to give the Honorable Nandala Mafavi, that we are well informed about the status of UNOC, and we must not be seen to come here to only buttress the agreement that was signed between UNOC and Vitol. Give other players chance, and then you can come back so that we legislate for fair competition.
Madam Speaker, you have heard. Now this is the party statute, and I'm happy that my brother Felix Okot is around. Madam Speaker, there are so many fuel companies. There's BP, there's Excel, there's Total Energy. There are so many. And if government of Uganda wanted, it would have come up and said, we cannot have only one, but many. And if you have many, there would be no issue being raised. And if you want us to empower UNOC, we can do it. Even we can do a tax levy on fuel and say 100 shilling will go towards empowering UNOC so that tomorrow they are capable to run on this own. We did it to New Vision, and after New Vision had picked up, we allowed other monopolies to do. We said nobody will advertise anywhere in Uganda on government contracts apart from what? New Vision.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I want to conclude. I want to conclude just more things. Madam Speaker, you need information to help. I was in a meeting where a group called SIPA. These are calling themselves something in a name. Sustainable Energies and Petroleum Association. I hope the chair was on that meeting with the chair in the committee. And they were arguing, they were saying they wanted more items to be added on the list. But the people who have SIPA are basically members of Vivo Energy. And Madam Speaker, they came to support. Then when members asked, where are other members of SIPA like Total, like Corex, they said they were busy not coming. And I would like the chairman sent the CID to pick the document. They came without no document. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I want to state this, that one, nobody is fighting UNOC. What we want to do is let UNOC come here with a budget. We give them money to go to the refinery. We shall give a guarantee. Two, many companies appeared before the committee. They said they have capacity. Madam Speaker, the moment you sign a contract of 2.5 million liters by Vitol to Vitol, that one government of Uganda will never go bust. Whoever, that company is going to go all over the world, source money, and come and supply. And the money they are going to get has interest. First, there will be interest on the money, there will be their margins, and there's a monopoly. The moment you create monopoly in this country, the same prices are going to go high. I would plead members that for now, the committee should be funded. Madam Speaker, if you agree, this committee should be funded to go and visit oil refineries. We can send you either Singapore or Saudi Arabia or even in Dubai, you'll get. You go and learn how fuel is there at a refinery. Madam Speaker, a refinery also, it is like a maize mill, where people who have deal in maize take to the maize mill to mill. Then there will be buyers. I get it, Madam Speaker. Even those who bring crude oil come and refine their crude oil to a finished product, but that is the maize mill now. So it is the one which may be knowing who are the buyers. But the owners of the oil are those of the crude what? Oil. And nobody should lie you, it is the refinery which is a problem. The problem is the crude oil dealers, and the refinery knows who are the crude oil dealers and who can buy fuel from the refinery. Madam Speaker, when they demonstrated that picture there, that picture was just trying to take us away. The true story is that most of the big companies, like let's just say Shell and Vivo, for them, if you have a managing director in UK, his salary, there will be a portion on that liter sold in Uganda. So that liter you buy here in Uganda has cost overheads up there. Now you'll discover that there are smaller dealers who have no big overcost. Their pump price is too low because the overhead costs are too low. And that's where we could be fighting and say, is it possible for you to go to the refinery and get the crude oil and we deal with it, but not Vito, which is going to be very expensive element.
Honorable Katesh, Honorable Kamuntu, are you also talking about monopoly? Because you are one of the members who enjoy monopoly of iron ore in Uganda. Anyway, no, it's okay. Can I have
Honorable
Katesh?
Speaker and colleagues, I have had the chance to facilitate clearance of fuel into this country for many years. And I would like to give information. First of all, strategically, we need to support the bill. And I will explain. Right, Honorable Speaker, all the fuel that comes to Uganda goes through either Mombasa or Dar es Salaam. The government in the neighboring country decided to move away from the existing system, OTS, which was running at premiums as low as $35 per metric ton. And they negotiated premiums of 118 per metric ton in the case of gasoline. That negotiation includes the fuel destined to Uganda. They negotiated a 6-month credit period, but our companies here, when they go to lift the fuel, they must pay upfront, meaning that the money that our companies were paying goes directly, is kept in the country to help its forex, and then they pay the company 6 months later. Who is suffering? The Ugandan consumers. So what this bill is trying to cure, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, is number one, we can negotiate our premium that is much lower than what our neighbors have negotiated. And I think the minister indicated the target that they have set, although I would think that maybe it could even go down. Number two, the region receives around 6 ships of fuel in Mombasa. It has been receiving this fuel as a regional stock, and then it is pumped through the Kenyan pipeline system to Uganda through Eldoret, Kisumu, and other places. Along the way, there are middlemen. What the government is trying to cut now is the middlemen out of the process. So, as it is now, what government is trying to do, looking at our fuel needs per month, which is around 200 million liters monthly, is that Uganda will be able to have 2 ships dedicated for Uganda. If there are no supply chain constraints, then that gives us security of fuel. But that will depend on how organized and how the ministry regulates this process. Now, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the best circumstances would have been that UNEC is capitalized, right? To buy directly this fuel from refineries. That should be the future that we should be looking at. When I talk about future, future can be tomorrow. That should be the ideal situation. This house is in charge of appropriation.
Honorable members, it's just a matter of wording. It is an ideal illustration. That's what we should do. There's a motion. There's a motion. When the motion comes, there's a motion. There is a motion.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Members, having heard from various submissions from members, I move a motion that we close the debate and we move on committee stage.
Honorable members, for the health of the speaker, we close the debate. Is it seconded? Seconded by Kavanda, by Namilian, by the whole house. Thank you so much. The kids have to breastfeed. Honorable members, on the forum, I have 118 virtually, and I have 68. I mean, in the house, physically 118 and virtually 68. So we have the quorum. I put the question that the petroleum supplement bill 2023 be read for the second time. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Guys have it.
The Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023, Bills Committee stage. Clause 1.
Clause 1. There is no amendment. Yes.
Madam Speaker, clause 1 is the one deleting competition in the oil sector. Madam Speaker, I wanted to propose that clause 1 be deleted. The justification is that clause 1, we facilitate the Nile Oil Company, the Nile, Uganda National Oil Company, to be given money also to compete with others in the oil sector. Failure to do that, we are creating a monopoly, which will be dangerous for this country.
Honorable members, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to put a suggestion that we insert we insert a section on the commencement date of this act once signed, because it has a cost implication for the oil
Is that on
companies.
clause 1?
No, I was suggesting, Madam
No, let's-
Chair, that before clause 1, we put an acknowledgement there.
Honorable member, committee stage moves clause by clause. Clause 1, Honorable Nandala is saying we should delete so that we remove the monopoly of, members. For me, is that how there's a con? Honorable members, Honorable Nathan is saying that we should delete that clause.
No.
Have you put a question? I am going to put a question on Nandala's proposal. Those in favor of deleting the clause, say unto the contrary, nay. Honorable members, the nays have it. I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Clause 2. Clause 2. I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Clause 3. I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
I put a question that clause 4 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Schedule.
Schedule. I put a question that the schedule stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Aye. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto.
Honorable members, I put a question that the House does resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair.
Sit there, Chair.
I'm in the middle of moving.
Honorable Mugema Panado of Iganga.
Yes, now,
Can you kindly sit?
It is a procedure, Madam.
No, sit.
It is a request. It is a request.
Since when? Since when did I? Kabanda cannot stand. Can you continue?
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to report that the committee of the whole House has considered the Petroleum Supplies Amendment Bill 2023 and he has passed all the amendments the proposals without an amendment. I beg to.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that the report of the Committee of the Whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Bills third reading, the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023.
The quorum still is maintained. Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Petroleum Supplies Amendment Bill be read the third time and do pass.
Honorable members, I put a question that the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill 2023 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Petroleum Supply Amendment Act 2023.
The bill is passed and title settled.
You're writing, but it's okay. So I'm going to the next item. Item 7, motion for adoption of the report of the Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry on the inquiry into the governance of and value for money for budgetary appropriations to cooperatives for the financial years 2011, 2012 to the financial year 2022, 2023.
Honorable members, there was a report that was being investigated by the Committee of Trade. And having read the report thoroughly, Honorable Minister, can you come back? Honorable Minister, sit there, and because you even have to thank the House for passing your bill. Honorable members, the report that we are talking about, and I want you to attend to this, listen to this attentively. Because today it is me, tomorrow it is somebody else. Having read the report, the investigation was done by us, and the findings of the report bordered to criminality. And I find it hard as a House for us to be the ones to debate that report. I am therefore forwarding that report to CID, to IGG, to DPP. We are not competent enough to take actions on those reports. So that report is retired from the order paper and forwarded. I will ask the clerk to forward it over to those institutions for further administration and management. I hope you've understood it. Kabanda, you have something to say?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I would, of course, have something to say if I saw the report, because we have coordinator. We have some people that we know were involved in taking our money for the cooperatives. And according to the information we have, those people were not captured in the report. They were saved. And others that were saved, Madam Speaker, belong to this side, opposition side. They also ate the money. It would be important that this House goes through the report so that we know who is going to appear before those authorities that are going to be investigating these people. If these people are not there, if they have not been captured in the report, Parliament must come back and we go through, because we cannot pretend to be fighting corruption. And at the end of the day, those people who go on TVs, who are supposed to check us, they are the beneficiaries. After a year, they go pretending to be fighting corruption. They pretend to be fighting President Museveni, and we save the same people. Madam Speaker, it would be important that all of us look at the report, because we have some evidence that these people were involved in taking
Honorable members, as a presiding officer, I have been judicious enough. I have read the report. I am going to upload this report for you able to see it, where CID, DPP, and the rest realize that they need more people. No, they take action. We have given them a go-ahead to take action. Yes.
Right Honorable, congratulations, and as if you read my mind. I wanted to request that since this is a report of an investigation conducted by Committee of Parliament, it would be important, much as you have decided as the custodian of our rules to refer, but let it be applauded for us to read for information purposes in order for us to also internalize the findings and recommendations of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, members, and I don't want members to speculate. Don't speculate, read the report, understand it, and the action will be taken by relevant people. You're not the people to do that work. And Madam, proceed here. I'm adjourning the house to 2 tomorrow.
Mm.